All right, everybody, I need to have a very serious conversation with you all. Any of you that have been with me for any length of time know that this is very near and dear to my heart. I take this topic very seriously. So I make videos explaining on how to install plugins, how to do different things with your servers. Basically, I'm teaching you guys how to build your Rust community. But what I don't often talk about is what's happening behind the scenes, the stuff that you guys never get to hear about. So the main point that I want you to take away from this video is I want you to recognize that there are actual people behind these plugins and tools and map files, whether you're buying them or even getting them for free from any one of the trusted websites that we all know about. I want you to recognize that there are real people behind the plugins and tools and various things that we use on our servers every day. These are moms and dads and brothers and sisters that are spending time away from their families to create these pieces of property for us to use. When something breaks, they have to take even more time away from their families in order to fix it as quickly as possible. When there are unforeseen changes coming in from FacePunch, you know that these developers are right on it in order to keep your server up and running smoothly. These are real people. They have families, they have lives. Maybe they do this stuff as a hobby, which we certainly appreciate that, but maybe they're doing this as a primary source of income for their families. Do me a favor, hear me out. This isn't going to be a long video. I don't want to get into the legalities of licensing because that can change based on whichever country you're in. We are a global community, so countries don't matter. We are building a community around Rust. So I don't want to get into any country-specific thoughts. But what I do want you to recognize is that when you purchase a plugin, or even when you get one for free, you're not buying that plugin. It's not your property. What you're purchasing is the license to use it. And it's usually within the license itself that tells you exactly what you can do with it. So first and foremost, by default, you should assume that that license does not give you the right to share that file in any way, or more importantly, to sell that file. This includes every imaginable variation of this. Whether you're sharing it with a friend, uploading it to your Discord, or even uploading it to your personal website, anywhere where somebody can publicly access this file is an absolute no-no. It's important to recognize what happens when you share one of these files. To you, you're just sharing it with a friend, but it never really stops there, does it? That one friend shares it to another friend, that friend shares it to two other friends, and before you know it, the value of that file is completely lost. All of the hours of development that went into that file are completely thrown to the wayside. Now you have several people sharing one file that really only the first person has the actual license to use. And this will always take away the very much needed funding in order to keep that file maintained, whatever it happens to be. And it's usually at this point where the developer of the original file says, you know what? I'm not going to maintain this file anymore. So they stop putting out updates, or worse yet, they don't even make it available to anybody anymore. Now the entire community has lost that file simply because you were trying to help out your friend. So now any new server that's coming up in the ranks, they may not even know that that file ever existed because the developer got frustrated and took it away from the community altogether. We've seen this happen on numerous occasions. We've lost very valuable developers in the community for this exact reason. So how do you protect yourself from becoming involved in one of these types of situations? Well, most commonly, they'll reach out to you on Discord or email or something like that, and they'll make you some sort of a deal. They'll say, hey, give me X plugin and I'll give you X plugin in return. So what they're actually doing here is they're getting something from you for free using a payment method that they got from somebody else in the exact same manner. So they're trying to get stolen property from you and they're trying to pay for it with other stolen property. And of course they dress it up and they make it sound really good and blah, blah, blah. And it all sounds really great right up until you realize how many people are actually getting screwed over by this one simple act. These people that do this to the community, they're really just the worst kind of people. They're taking something that you paid for with your hard-earned money, and they're paying it with something that somebody else paid for with their hard-earned money, and then they take it back to their community and they sell both of those plugins or tools or map files or whatever to their own community for a 100% profit. The whole situation is just gross. I absolutely hate it, but only you can help me prevent it. These quite simply just are not the people that you want to be buying these items from. They can't and probably won't provide you with any kind of support if you run into a problem. Is it really worth it to save a couple of bucks? Especially if you consider what they might have done with that code before they gave it to you. Whether it be malicious or not, you have no idea what they've done inside that code. Is it really worth putting your community at risk to find out? I sincerely hope that it's not. So the question is, what can you do to help me prevent this from happening within the community? Well, the easiest thing that you can do is only get your plugins, maps, tools from trusted websites. How do you know what is a trusted website? If you join my Discord at discord.srtbull.com, I have a channel dedicated there to websites for getting these files from that my community uses on a regular basis. We vetted them, we trust them, we know the people that are running these websites. So if you're going to be buying a file of any kind, whether it be a plugin, a map, a tool of some kind, if you're going to be buying it for your Rust community, make sure you buy it from one of these trusted sources. Now, the most obvious question at this point is, what should you do if you find a website somewhere that is selling these files that you know came from one of these trusted sources and is now being resold on one of these scammer sites? The short answer is do nothing. I don't want you to do anything with that information. Definitely don't buy from them, and definitely don't promote the website. Do nothing, just leave. Is there someone that you can contact and let them know that this is happening? Sure, you might want to reach out to where you know the original file might have come from, but there's not really a whole lot they can do about it anyways. Plus, you don't want to put yourself at risk because you know that these people don't live by the same set of rules that you do. They're not good people, and I don't want you to put yourself in a position of risk that might cause you any type of harm whatsoever. If you're still with me at this point of the video, I definitely appreciate you allowing me to rant in your ear about this. I'm going to leave you with a really short story. As many of you already know, I'm in possession of a plugin that the community really wants to get their hands on. I paid a small fortune for this plugin at the time, with the promise that I would never share it with anyone ever for any reason. I've made a video on this plugin. You probably know which one I'm talking about. The only reason this plugin is not available to the public yet is because the developer doesn't have any way of protecting that code so that it can't end up on one of these pirate websites. The developer has spent hundreds, if not thousands of hours developing this plugin, and he's even brought on team members to help him with it. There is a lot of manpower that went into this plugin. Even I don't want it to be put at risk in the community. So as a result of all of this, there's the developer, there's myself, and there's one other Rust server owner out there that has access to this plugin that I know about. So 3 people in the entire world that have access to this plugin. So that means that there's literally only 2 other people in the world that get access to the updates and the maintenance that comes along with it. I made a commitment to the developer. He made a commitment to me, making sure that the plugin is always going to be updated, and he's always looking for feedback for improvements or changes that might need to be made. If this plugin ever leaked out to the real world for whatever reason, and the reasoning doesn't matter, the developer of this plugin would know exactly where it came from. Do you think he would ever work with me ever again? Hell no. In one fell swoop, I will have completely destroyed my reputation within a community that I've spent a lot of years building up. Anyways, all of this to say there's a level of trust and there's a level of honor that I'm trying to uphold within this community. Please do your part to help me out with that. Don't ruin something for the entire community just to save a couple of bucks for yourself. If you need my help, I'd be more than happy to show you how you can actually make it so that your Rust server generates its own income. Therefore, your own server will be buying these premium plugins and tools and maps for you. Now your community is legitimately buying these items for you. How cool would that be? Thanks for watching. I appreciate your time. I'll see you all very soon.